What's going on, Conscious? Who's your favorite breakdown commentator? Welcome to another reviewing episode of the Consciouztv platform. You already know what we're here to get into, and yes, this is an improv show. I'm up. I'm typically a night owl. I said, you know what? Let me just go ahead and go live because that's just what I feel like doing. I tend to only do what I feel like doing these days when I feel like doing it. So here we are at 2:30 a.m. in the morning, going live, giving commentary. Oh, y'all already know what we're here to get into, so please run those likes up. Thumbing up the video not only helps with YouTube's algorithm, but more importantly, it triggers up YouTube's notification system. So when you are thumbing up the video, you are literally knocking on the digital door of another Conscious crew member and telling them to get their black asses into the sanctuary. So whether you part of the replay gang, whether you are active with me in these streets in real time, or whether you are a bush baby, run me those likes. If you're gonna likes, you guys know that you also can show some love to the Cash App, $Consciouztv, and or PayPal.me/Consciouztv, Conscious spelled with the Z on the end, just like it is here on the platform. All handles are in the description box below. Last but not least, please make sure that your notifications are set to all. And last but not least, please share the stream out to wherever it is you have digital community, whether that be your YouTube community wall, your Snapchat, your MySpace, the dark side of Twitter, Tumblr, or your personal OF. I don't really give a where you in fact lay the link. Just let them know that we're live, and we're certainly in color. And with no further ado, let's go ahead and push on through.
I know a place where you can recharge your soul.
Baby, that's Consciouztv.
And in the midst of brokenness, he gon' see your asshole.
Baby, that's Consciouztv.
You gon' heal, you gon' laugh and catch a little shade.
Ooh, girl.
Y'all know he be slaying, y'all better stop playing. Come hear what he's saying.
Ladies and gentlemen.
What's going on, Conscious Crew? What is going on, you guys? I know this is an improv show. Something was telling me just wait until the morning, you know, when all the Conscious Crew is running amok in the earth. I said, nah, I'm going to go ahead and push through. Nah, I'm going to get it up out of me. Nah. All right, so let me speak to everybody in the building. What's going on, everyone? Please make sure you guys are running those likes up. Grand Rising, Ray, Sin, hey Boo, listening in from work. What's going on, Ambi? Hey Mark. What's going on, Miss Jigga? Hey Crystal. Shout out to Poland. It is 8:31 a.m. in Poland. Yes, God. What's going on, 1975 Gen Xer? Hey Michelle A. What's going on, Remnants? Hey Tennessee Gal. What's going on, Kiki? Hey Jackie. Hey everyone. It's a lot going on, you guys. You guys know how it is, girl. I'm an empath. I get super overstimulated. It be too much going on politically, too much going on just globally, nationally. Pop culture, girl, it's just be so crazy. So I be having to take care of myself a bit extra more in this season, okay? Especially with being a content creator. You know, we always have to run into the news cycle, so it's kind of hard to avoid the quantity and the avalanche of fuckery that is always. And then all of this is overlapping during the Diddy trial, which is going to be going on for 2 months. And then you got Donald Trump claiming that he is deporting immigrants, illegal immigrants, which are people with their green card, not with their green card, because he wants to make America safe again, while simultaneously pardoning criminals. I mean, make that make sense. How are you going to justify running amok and running ISIS up into every Mexican and Latino's home because you want to ensure that the streets are safe for children and women, and then also actively be pardoning criminals like all of those insurrectioners? And then this new pale family girl. You know what? This is why I just be having to mind my damn business. Okay, mind my business. Anyway, there's a lot also going on within the Megan Thee Stallion multiverse. You guys know it has been lit for the past 2 weeks. You guys know that the defendant in Megan Thee Stallion's cyberstalking, harassment, defamation lawsuit lost one of her lead counsel, aka lawyers, last week, who definitely begged the judge to set him and his pockets free, girl, because between Milagro being broke and not processing them payments and paying up them invoices, she also was completely resistant and clearly doesn't need a lawyer since she's been out here litigating her case in a court of public opinion. So there's been irreconcilable differences, okay, going on between them, baby. So he had to haul ass up out of there. Well, now Unite the People, who is the same organization that attempted to help Tory Lanez with his appeals due to him being found guilty in the 2020 outing of Megan Thee Stallion, also have officially put in their paperwork. So we're going to get into all of that. You guys also may or may not know that Nappy Radio and Wendy Wiggins have been dragging each other over the last 48 hours. We may or may not cover that in the morning because I don't want to make this particular commentary too long since it's already in the wee hours of the night, girl. So we may come back and get into a little bit of that maybe in the morning, okay? Also, you guys know that Megan Thee Stallion ancestors have had their foot on everybody's necks from running off all of Nappy Radio's attorneys off her case to then Tory Lanez end up stabbed like chopped stew liver, girl, 14 different ways from Sunday. Well, the infamous video footage and photos from that incident that some people thought for some reason was a conspiracy and was a lie that Todd and Tory came back to us with have now been officially released, girl. And he, in fact, was being dragged and turned every which way but damn loose, like the inmate said, who you guys know also a few days ago spoke out about the reasons why he ended up having to shank Tory Lanez all up in his pussy, girl. All right. So if you guys have not been catching all of that commentary, I need you guys to run that. We've been covering all of that, girl. So get into any previous live streams that you have missed because we have not been missing a beat. And you guys know that Tory Lanez's team, desperate to get him out of jail now that he is afraid for his life, did this fake-ass press circuit alleging that there was new evidence. Coming to find out there ain't no new evidence. It's old evidence. Old tea that already have been tried, died, fried, and laid to the side during trial, girl. It didn't get Tory Lanez nowhere then, and ain't gonna get his ass nowhere now. But we do have to keep an open mind because you guys know we're living in an upside down reality right now. So while it's not likely to happen, of course, it is a possibility that Tory Lanez could be pardoned because anytime we're dealing with human beings, you know, we can't completely have a 100% expectation out of their hoe. Okay, so Gavin Newsom, the governor of California, who his legal team are begging to pardon him to at least, you know, get him a mistrial or retrial, bitch, anything. But the current situation, it is possible that the pressure, girl, from all the social media begging and this petition that Tory Lanez created that have been signed now by 300,000 other bald head cult followers of his, coupled with this Republican bone straight pale hoe who been out here not knowing what the hell she talking about, girl. She called herself, you know, leading the charge on getting Tory part and etc. girl, when she ain't even seen none of the alleged evidence in question. She ain't even seen none of the alleged ring camera footage in question, girl, that don't exist, by the way. And to make matters worse, the stupid hoe been out here talking about, girl, you know, where there's DNA, there's a 0.0000000.9 trillion% chance that, girl, his DNA wasn't on the weapon. No, bitch. His DNA wasn't on the, what you call the thing? I can never get on the clip, girl. It was never on the clip that goes into the GUN, but everybody's DNA was inconclusive on the weapon because there were too many strands of DNA, okay? Like, this hoe literally just showed up to the cookout like 12 hours ago, girl, and she's already pooching down the hallway with her briefcase, girl, and her flat iron roots, you know, just happy, honey, to have another ninja that she can make a BC fetish out of, child. I'm really just not surprised at this point at how many idiots exist and how many people did not really pay close attention to this trial. And I just feel like when it comes to especially cases that have seen a courtroom and not just a court of public opinion, girl, not just a court of blogs, like, you might want to go run yourself all of that so that you're not out here sounding like a big ass weirdo, because there's been so much misinformation spread about this case that is crazy that in 2025 we are literally retrying this case all over again. It's like the case never went to trial. It's nuts. And I feel completely heartbroken and sad for Megan Thee Stallion, because I cannot imagine the quadruple trauma and gaslighting that she's experienced, even after a jury of his peers found him guilty because of the 72 plus bundles of evidence to support said verdict, girl. And to be out here and to see people caping and capping, she got public figures out here dragging her. She got her own peers like Drake and Chris Brown sharing free Tory. She have mammies who are moonwalking, who initially was in support of the verdict, and now because of press conferences about evidence that don't exist, those same people are now backpedaling and pussy popping. Girl, we're going to get into all the things, girl. It's just a hot mess. Shout out to my baby mother Jackie for the old Nancy piece. A child support check for I love your commentary. Thank you so much, baby mother Jackie. You guys know all donation information is in the description box below. Y'all, it is really just a whole stinking mess up out of her child. So let's just go ahead and get into some good news first, girl, before we get into the shit show. All right? You guys know, this week the AMAs, aka the American Music Awards, had came on and aired, girl. Janet Jackson did a dry-ass performance of two of her leading singles from one of my favorite Janet albums, All For You, girl. So she performed Someone to Call My Lover, and she also performed All For You, and she accepted their Icon of the Year award. I found the performance to be completely underwhelming. Janet Jackson can definitely do a lot motherfucking better, girl. She could have kept the rehearsals for the rehearsals to her damn self, because that's what the hell I felt I was watching. And once again, girl, you know, I come from the iconic era of these people, so I know what they're capable of. Like, her performance for the MTV Video Music Awards back in the year 2000 when she performed doesn't really matter. Like, the one thing I love about Beyonce, what I can say about Beyonce that all the rest of the girls, including Janet, need to take one out of Beyonce's book, is that Beyonce has yet to stop competing with herself. And I love that about her. And I hope that she never stops doing that. I hate that a lot of our icons who are now being introduced to a new generation who were not, you know, who were not even alive during their heyday still, are having a good go and a good run, but have slowed down magnificently. And I'm just like, Janet, the girls, give the kids a run for their money. Like, let these new bundles of consciousness and souls coming into the world, girl, know what type of time we was on back in the 80s and the 90s and the early 2000s. Like, don't get out here and make a fool of us. So my expectations for my musical icons are still really high. Janet Jackson is doing more on tour than she did for, 5.5 minutes on the AMA stage. I mean, you only had 2 motherfucking songs, and one of them isn't really a completely, upbeat track. It's mid-tempo. So literally, girl, you could have showed your ass and all for you. Like, you really could have showed your ass. I ain't like the outfit. I ain't like the hair. Janet Jackson just been pissing me off ever since the presidential run, girl. Okay, well, her acting real stupid when it came to Kamala. Girl, this a whole mess. Anyway, that's a video for another day. I might have to come back and drag Janet individually. The AMAs also honored Miss Megan Thee Stallion, who took home, I believe, 2 trophies, if I'm not mistaken. She took home an award for favorite female hip-hop artist, and she beat out nominees like Doechii, Glorilla, Lotto, and Sexy Red. So shout out to Megan Thee Stallion, because, folks been out here talking about, girl, her career is dried up, it's washed up, it's this, that, the third. Megan Thee Stallion just keeps backhanding hoes. Like, every time a bitch come out against Megan, something just leverages her almost immediately, girl. Like, Megan got one of those type of karmas where, like, the karmic clapback is immediate. Like, her blessings are immediate. People have to eat crow immediately. People have to suck a immediately. Like, immediately, girl. So shout out to Megan, who I'm sure could use some really positive energy, because this has been a really, really, really hard 2 weeks for her. All right. Now, speaking of the moonwalking, high-functioning mammies, who I was talking about was this bitch I ain't never heard of named Niecy Gilbert, who had to issue recently a public apology to Tory Lanez for supporting Megan Thee Stallion, quote, without all the facts amid new evidence. Now, mind you, this was her original. Oh, don't even have it. Damn. Okay, so I was going to show y'all the original. Hold on, wait a minute. I got to find this because, girl, I was gagged. Her original energy, Nikki. Hold on. Nikki, can't you see? Oh, it's Niecy Gilbert on Megan Thee Stallion. I want to find her initial response, girl, because she was so here for Tory Lanez ass getting locked the hell up, child. I can't find it, okay? But nonetheless, girl, she was here for a jury finding Tory Lanez guilty as all hell, etc. Now, due to the fake ass press circuit about the non-existent new evidence, she is moonwalking her sentiments back and making a apology, a very public one, to Tory Lanez. Now, I don't know whether Pygmishas, because a lot of Pygmishas have been abused. A lot of them, participate in patriarchy, and a lot of them have been subjected to the worst of it. So I don't know whether Niecy, is afraid that Tory is going to come home and he's actually going to be pardoned and she's going to get her ass whooped. I don't know if her own trauma is just jumping up out of her, girl, and she's just scared that Tory is, that Ike is going to make anime eat the motherfucking cake or not. I don't know what the tea is, but, could y'all at least wait until, there is a new verdict? Could y'all wait until there is an actual pardon? Ain't y'all kind of jumping to conclusions just a little bit and a little bit too early, girl. But here's what she had to say, child.
Meantime.
Yeah.
And he survived it.
Yes.
What were your thoughts on what was going on?
So let me use this opportunity to say this. Tory, I apologize for I made a post because I was just so disgusted about what I heard. And I should know better. Because I done heard plenty of shit about me that ain't true. You feel me?
I feel you.
And I might have been harboring some issues with, like, you know,
a little trauma and the
fact that, you know, it's still some business that need to be worked out on that Say It record.
Yeah.
But I owe Tory Lanez an apology, and I'm going to do it here publicly.
Okay.
Because I sort of jumped on the bandwagon of shame on him. Why did he do that? He's like, I found guilty, blah, 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 blah. I was not fully in my case. I was not understanding. You know, I was naive. I believe that you go through this due process and you go through the judicial system and then you lay out your facts and they... So I'm not going to speak on it for a second time prematurely, but I'm going to say this. If there was evidence that was suppressed, if there is any possibility that Tory Lanez did not do this, that man deserves a retrial. He deserves the opportunity to present, because we all kind of felt like something, and this isn't me.
I find it inconceivable that people are talking about if you still have to use if there's evidence that's been suppressed, if there's this, that, the third, the audacity then to then make all these powerful declarations and public apologies about something that you don't even know factually exists or not. Like, people are weird as hell. Weird as hell.
You know, because I don't have a personal issue with him or a personal issue with Meg.
Yeah.
I have an issue with any system that will allow somebody to suffer without having them have an opportunity to lay out all the facts. Period. In the Tory Lanez case, I did feel like things went really quickly, and I did hear some whispers about some stuff. So I pray, first of all, I pray that he is healthy. I pray that he heals 100%. And I want to publicly apologize for having an opinion on something based on limited information.
I don't even have nothing to say, y'all. Moving along. Megan Thee Stallion team, Alex Spiro, etc., her amazing panel of lawyers are now also taken to social media to make sure that they clean up a lot of the bullish and the misinformation that Tory's felt incompetent ass legal team is putting out. So they recently took to the Shade Room, which we're going to catch on audio. And they're going to be responding to all these claims of quote-unquote new evidence, blah, 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 blah. So check out this exclusive interview from Megan's lawyers via Shade Room interview.
He reached out to the team who was there for it all.
It really is time.
Marie Hyrapetian and Janet Shamilian, who worked alongside lead attorney Alex Spiro, representing Meg Thee Stallion during trial.
And despite court orders, restraining orders, Tory continues to orchestrate systematic harassment campaigns through surrogates and social media personalities. Every few months, we hear new fabricated narratives emerge that force Megan to repeatedly relive her trauma and defend her credibility. And she should not have to do so as a victim of violent abuse.
So they spelled it out for us in this 31-page report released on Thursday. Tory's team claiming that there's new Ring camera footage of the incident.
We're hearing news of Ring footage. Ring footage was already a trial exhibit. There was an audio of 5 consecutive gunshots that was presented and admitted, and the jury considered in rendering the verdict. There's no other Ring footage, and if in theory there was something that would exonerate Mr. Peterson, it would be disseminated publicly and widely, and it's not.
The report was detailed, full of images and exhibits from...
I see Studio Mansion says There's footage from another angle where you can see her stepping out of the car onto a bottle that fell out of it. Don't believe me, look for it. Okay, so, you know, we've already discussed this, you know, in great detail. For one, there's blood all inside of the truck. Okay, so she didn't step on a bottle and acquire her injuries. The truck she was in was already filled with blood. The back seat, there were towels, etc. Blood, 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 blood everywhere. Okay, she didn't step on a bottle. Secondly, we've pulled up Megan Thee Stallion's hospital wound images. You know what happens when you step onto a bottle? You get cuts and abrasions and wounds all up and down and through the sole of your foot. Why are all of her injuries on the top part and sides of her foot and none on the sole of her feet if she in fact had stepped on glass? I've seen the body cam footage of her getting out of the SUV and a bottle rolling out that didn't even break. You don't even see her reacting to stepping on glass as she is stepping backwards in a pool of her own blood. Okay, she was shot. And the good news about that is not only did the x-rays prove that, the doctors proved that the metallic foreign objects in her foot, which is why she had to end up confessing that she was actually shot, because the doctors came back with the x-rays and say, baby, this is not glass, sugar. But as we can also hear from the ring cam footage, there was a GUN used. As we also know from Tory's own team, him and Kelsey had GSR both on them because a GUN was used. We also know that a GUN that was hot to touch was found at Tory Lanez's feet upon them all being stopped by the police. We know that shell casings from that hot to touch GUN were also found at the scene of the actual crime. And we have a third party witness that was Tory Lanez's own star witness, Sean Kelly, who also identified him as the Ooter and watch Meg drop to the ground as Tory Lanez was ooting her. Glass, irrelevant, body cam footage, etc. Those are all completely moot and irrelevant points. All right, back to the interview.
Including that call that Tory made to Kelsey Harris on July 12, 2020, hours after the shooting.
I know she probably never gonna talk to me ever again, but
we've also discussed this a trillion times. It's clear to me that some of you guys have and it's not the conscious crew member, it's like these other scragglers, have a like listen to comprehend issue. She wasn't shot in her foot directly by a bullet. She was hit by shrapnel because the ground around her feet were being shot at. When bullets impact concrete, they shatter. That shrapnel from the bullet exploding, some of the metal from that bullet is what ended up lodged in the sides and top of her feet. They did not extract an entire whole bullet from her foot. That was even testified to on the stand. And that is consistent with x-rays, physicians, and the actual injuries on her foot, which is why her injuries were so sporadic and all over the place on the tops and sides of her foot. You have to make it make sense.
Bruh, I just want you to know, bruh. I was just so drunk that I didn't even know what the was going on, bro. I didn't even know what the was going on, bro, like that. I never do something like that, bro. It's just that I was so even understand what was going on, bro. Like, whatever, bro. But, you know, regardless, that's not gonna make anything right. And that's not gonna make my actions right, bro. But
Text messages from Lanez to Meg Thee
People also would have you believe that Tory would actually sit his ass on the phone and profusely apologize to whom, according to everybody else, is the actual Uter. And then people would have you believe that the actual Uter would have enough gall and balls to go from the police precinct to go sit outside the hospital where Megan was, instead of being on the first megabus smoking to New Mexico. People would actually have you believe that the non-shooter is innocently sitting in jail on this prison call and is apologizing profusely to the person that actually ooted Meg. And then want to say that he's apologizing for sleeping with two friends behind one another's backs. But that's even inconsistent with the nature of the crime committed against Meg, because it's so bad that Tory can't even articulate it over a federally recorded call. Because guess what? It's not illegal to be fucking two girlfriends behind each other's back. You know what the hell is illegal? You know what the hell you can't say emphatically in a text message or on a recorded federal call? Is you apologizing for popping a bitch. That's what you can't do. And then nobody who supports that bullshit narrative wants to help us to understand what is so heinous in nature. Because once again, that wouldn't be fucking two girlfriends who weren't either one of his girlfriends behind their back. What was so bad that it would require Meg to never speak to Tory again? What is he apologizing for? That is so heinous in nature that Meg would never, ever, 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 ever in a million years, ever, trillion, ever forgive him, ever want to speak to him again. Why, how? What is it? Because it's not putting his community pain into friends. Because if that's the case, he can articulate that. He never articulates that. Over the jail call, he never articulates that in the text message directly to Meg when he got out. But he want to tell y'all that's what he was apologizing for, but he never clarified in real time when talking to the people to whom it concerns that is what he was apologizing for. He went out of his way to make sure that in any of his electronically recorded communications about the nature of his apology, that he never identified what exactly he's apologizing for. Well, he doesn't need to, because he know that they know damn well what the hell he apologizing for. And we now know exactly what the hell he's apologizing for. Because you can say on a recorded call from a federal penitentiary or from a police precinct, and you can damn sure say in a text message that I apologize for letting me and your little secret out to your best friend who didn't know that we was fucking too on the back end. That's not illegal, baby. You can't catch a felony charge. You can't catch a misdemeanor behind fucking two folk, girl. These are ethical and moral dilemmas, not criminal dilemmas. Okay?
I just didn't even understand what was going on, bro.
including that call that Tory made to Kelsey Harris on July 12, 2020, hours after the shooting.
I know she probably never ever gonna talk to me ever again, but bro, I just want you to know, bro, I was just so drunk that I didn't even know what the was going on, bro. I didn't even know what was what's going on, bro. Like, so whatever, bro. But, you know, regardless.
You were so drunk you didn't even know what the hell is going on. What are you talking about, Tory? Because you're not talking about freaking two friends. You obviously are not talking about freaking two friends. What are you talking about? What happened that night that you have to chop up to just being so drunk? You don't know what was going on. Why would you need liquor as an alibi? And why would someone who is innocent sitting in jail be on the phone with the actual Uber apologizing? Tory Lanez supporters and all supporters adjacent, like, these people are really, really slow.
Not gonna make anything right, and that's not gonna make my actions right, bro. But
text messages from Lanez to Meg Thee Stallion shortly after the incident. Quote, I know you probably never gonna talk to me again, but I genuinely want you to know I'm sorry from the bottom of my heart. And I was just too drunk. Nonetheless, expletive should never have happened, and I can't change what I did. I just feel horrible.
Now, why is it that the shooter never issued an apology once? The person that Tory would have y'all believe accidentally popped Meg has yet to apologize, baby. Matter of fact, Megan Thee Stallion paid that person's rent for an entire year afterwards and also cleared her name. But you know what? To make matters worse, you know who also cleared her name? Tory Lanez did. Case is motherfucking closed. Not only did Meg clear Kelsey's name, Tory cleared Kelsey's name. Case is closed, okay? If it just makes some people feel better about themselves, honey, to reach for stars, UFOs, and galaxies in this whole thing, baby, my God, get carried away, girl. Get your first 48 on. If you are rewarded in some way emotionally and mentally, honey, by spinning that block and trying to make the Tory Lanez innocent verdict work, baby, have at it. Have at it, girl. Okay? And make sure that you're putting something on our commentary as well.
Quote,
we're here to help the public understand that there is no new evidence. There never was.
Including testimony and court documents we've all seen and heard before. Kelsey Harris telling a prosecutor and an investigator in an interview, quote, I'm short, I'm 4'11". The vehicle is kind of a little raised up higher than me, so I can't really see. I can only see from chest up. That's all I can see. But the way Tory was angling the gun is kind of like, it wasn't like straight. It was like, you know, down. She goes on to say that Tory pointed it in Meg's direction. Quote, at that point, we kind of were in shock, you know, end quote. But Tory's team firm that that is not true.
This statement aligns with the statement of the only non-party witness to the case, Mr. Sean Kelly, who at trial testified he saw two women fighting, two men break up the fight, one man grabbed the other one's arm. Gunshots came from the passenger side. The passenger side is where Miss Harris was sitting.
But here's what Sean Kelly said in court, word for word. The prosecutor said, quote, all right, so the short guy had his arms outstretched. He fired 4 or 5 shots. Afterwards, the girl fell into the road and started bleeding. Sean Kelly says, yeah, she was crawling along, crawling and stumbling across the road. The prosecutor then says, all right, now you testified earlier this morning that when the short guy was shooting at the victim, you saw an object in his hand. Is that correct? Sean Kelly says, yeah, it was obviously something in his hand with the noise and the flashes. The prosecutor then says, and when that object was in his hands, were his arms outstretched. Sean Kelly says,
shouldn't showers be...
They paying bills and we got to pay them too, y'all. Run them likes up, run them 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 up. I see some people saying they want Kelsey charged too. Charged for what? Kelsey didn't do shit to be charged with. Charged for what? There's nothing to be charged with.
Yes.
The public keeps saying, where are the x-rays? She stepped on glass. And respectfully, why would we be worried about a gun if she had stepped on glass? But to take it a step further, we released the Cedar-Sinai records in our presentation. This is not the first time those records have been available to the public. It clearly states in numerous places, just on that one page, that bullet fragments were removed from both of Miss Pete's feet. You have to ask yourself, why are we still hearing the same conspiracy theories run over and over again?
Miss Pete's sentiment is that she wants this chapter closed. The jury has reached a verdict. Mr. Peterson has been sentenced. He's serving 10 years for 3 felonies committed against Miss Pete. She wants to move on. She has a successful, thriving career, and this should not be continued to brought up because this matter is closed.
Adding a political dimension to this case, there's a Florida congresswoman. Her name is Anna Paulina.
Okay, we don't give a fuck about that hoe. All right, on period. Yes, Tory Lanez tried to bribe both of them. Megan and Kelsey both testified to this when he was out there in the driveway with Megan. He was begging her for 1,000 Mexican pesos to keep her mouth closed about all this. When they got in the car on the way to Megan's house, he was bribing them with $1 million each, etc. He also showed up and saw Kelsey a few days after the event and was trying to softly bribe her by letting her know that anything she need, anything at all, a lawyer, anything, a business, anything, he could do anything at all. Okay? It goes on and on and on. The court is adjourned. It's adjourned. It's adjourned. It's adjourned. It couldn't be more adjourned. It's actually just kind of shocking and pathetic how propaganda actually is this powerful. That a press conference about baseless claims regarding a trial that's centered around facts and circumstantial evidence could be swallowed up amidst propaganda coming, 2-3 years after the fact? Wow. But, this it's the same country that voted Trump in for the second time around. So, once again, y'all, we have to remind ourselves of the type of America that we're living in. we gotta remind ourselves of the type of America we are in right now. This is the same country that voted a convicted felon, briber, fraudster, actual offender into office. Okay, you couldn't get a more explicit symbol of patriarchy and toxic masculinity than the current president. So, really, are we surprised? Are we surprised that even in the face of facts about harm done to a black woman at the hands of a man, that there will still be this large consensus amongst the public that he could be innocent and could be something other or opposite than what he was found liable for? I'm not. This is the same America that voted in Trump. After he had been found explicitly guilty. They didn't even believe the courts about Trump. So should we be shocked that they don't believe the courts about Tory? We're living in a delusional system right now, y'all. Everything is upside down. That's why even after the whole, we're going to ask Governor Gavin Newsom to pardon Tory, after I was initially like, oh, this is preposterous. That's never going to happen. A white governor pardoning a Negro around charges of GUN violence, a convicted felon in a state that's ravaged with gang violence and GUN violence. That's not going to happen. But then again, I had to wake up after my sensible conclusion and realize, wait, this isn't the era for sensibility. This is not the era that empowers itself on truth and centers itself on justice. We're living in a Sims or a South Park simulation right now. This is the era of absurdity. This is the era of ridiculousness. So I had to throw all that shit out my head and realize, wait, in this version of the country, it is possible that Tory Lanez could walk. It is possible that Tory Lanez's ass could get pardoned by Gavin Newsom. That is a real possibility right now. And I would be setting myself up for the okie dokie to believe that it is absolutely 100% unequivocally impossible of a reality, when in fact it is. So to spare myself the insanity, I have left room to wake up to the news that Gavin Newsom has responded to Miss Bone Straight and these petitions, and his office has looked through and evaluated and determined something that gives some type of a grace to Tory, because that in fact may just fucking happen. Not likely, but nonetheless still in the realm of motherfucking possibilities. Now, this footage has finally emerged. Every time Tory Lanez folk, well, this isn't even a conspiracy by Tory Lanez folk. This really was kind of the Megan Thee Stallion folk who thought that maybe this was a scheme and a scam that Todd had brought back to us about Tory Lanez being stabbed. But we know that that was not true because, you know, this came from actual sources within the prison system, authorities within the prison system. We know that there's been a real investigation. We also know that the inmate who purportedly stabbed his ass the fuck up and turned into Freddy Krueger on that fateful Monday also was a convicted felon who was serving a life sentence for the capital murder of a 13-year-old girl that he was in a pedophilic relationship with. We know he recently spoke out. So this is a real event. Well, now footage, you guys, has been obtained of Tory Lanez getting his ass stabbed up real bad, real bad. Here is that infamous footage per the Shade Room Twitter account, y'all. Check this shit out, girl. And Tory Lanez is literally screaming like a whole bitch for his life. I told y'all, that press conference coming out 3 days later was a response to this unprecedented event in Tory Lanez's life, girl. You can literally hear the terror in Tory Lanez's voice, girl. He is screaming, help, help, girl. I ain't never heard such high octaves in my life, girl. I didn't know whether that was Tory Lanez or that was Mariah Carey, girl, in the studio, bitch. Okay, girl? Tory was giving every bit of Whitney Houston on I Will Always Love You, girl. It was given very much so Celine Dion, girl. He was using his upper registry very illegally, girl. And 2 days later, we got that press conference. When you hear the sheer fear in his voice, girl, you're going to understand why new evidence had to show up, girl, within 48 hours of this unprecedented event, child. Check this shit out. Let me blow this up for y'all. This Tory Lanez on the ground. He getting stabbed. I'm gonna run that bike. It's very horrific, girl. The first time that I saw this, when I saw this tonight, I was like, wow. Seeing it took it to a whole nother level. That man was fighting for his whole life. Jeez. And this is him running, girl. Shirt torn off, ripped up, the whole nine, baby. He had done, baby. He ain't even got his wig on no more, girl. You can see his bald spot even from the 720 pixelation, girl. Y'all see this, baby? He had to stab that man wig off his head, girl. You can see the Batman bat sign tape line, girl. Even the 720 pixel had picked that up, girl. One more time for the people in the bike. This is the prison footage of Tory Lanez stabbing, girl. Baby Tory's running for his life, bitch. Okay, then I'm gonna show y'all some. Now I'm gonna show y'all some images of Tory's injuries, girl. They're pretty graphic, and of course I had to kind of censor them for YouTube's sake, because these bots be bodying, so I couldn't show all the gore. But here are his injuries, girl. His face is bloody the fuck up. You know, he received 14 stab wounds to the bike, to the head, to the legs, to the ass, baby. His whole chest here is bloody and stabbed up, girl. That man fucked him up. Fucked him up, girl. Okay? For one moment, for one night only, he had an opportunity, girl, to know exactly what Megan Thee Stallion felt. Remember when Kelsey had described the way that Megan had looked when Tory was shooting at her feet? That she was looking dead at Tory. She was facing the vehicle like a deer in headlights with sheer terror on her face. And now look at Tory Lanez. Captured in 720, girl. It's so crazy how karma literally copied and pasted itself on to Tory Lanez. Like, girl, when the scriptures say that you get equal measure and then some, Tory Lanez is like the poster child, girl, of karmic debt. He is getting literally everything and then some. For the trolling, the bullying, the violence he perpetuated. The universe made him Megan Thee Stallion. Look at his injuries. Look at him. And shout out to the COs for illegally leaking this footage, baby, because we need all that. We need all that. Shout out to the COs who don't get paid enough to do their jobs professionally, baby. Okay, shout out to all the people doing illegal things on their jobs, baby. Okay, making the blogs great again. We need all that. I'm going to run that beautiful bean footage one more time for the folk coming in. What's going on, Trey? This is the jail footage of Tory Lanez getting chewed up like beef jerky, child. Let's see if I can slow this down, child. Let's capture this ass whipping in slow motion. And he was screaming the whole time, help, 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 help. Somebody sound like a straight up woman. That nigga turned into a whole trans woman on that floor, baby. Got real dainty, real soft, girl. Got real submissive on that floor. What am I doing? What is this? Wow. Right, and nobody came to help him. And guess what? That's consistent with what the narratives were. That he been up in there walking around like he owned the motherfucking place, thinking he untouchable, being a fucking troll, doing the most, running that big ass motherfucking mouth, and somebody finally decided that he either was gonna have to put a dick or a butter knife in it. And they were all out of dicks on this day. So I guess a butter knife is what it was, baby. And if he would not have managed to get his own ass up off that floor, he would have died upstairs, baby, on top of the staircase. He would have been gone, baby. In another universe, we would have been getting some even more interesting news, girl. That famous rapper Tory Lanez was fatally stabbed in prison this Monday. You can actually hear the correctional officers who looking at this. You can hear them casually kind of giving commentary if you listen real closely. And look at this man right here, girl. He just kept on moving to his room, girl, with his microwavable macaroni and cheese, girl. He kept right on pushing. You can see people here. Look at the inmates on the mirror, girl. They just looking up at the show. Baby, they ain't running to get no help. They ain't running to the JPay phone, baby. Everybody is just looking at the show, girl. They wanted this for Tory. They did, meme. See? You can hear the correctional officer. Look. And listen. See? It sounded like he said, them ninjas crazy. Wow, shirt ripped off, everything ripped off, butt naked, wig off, bad. All right, now, of course, Tory Lanez's pappy is pressed and highly bothered, girl. He is upset. He had to come forward, girl, in all his spray paint. He talked to News Nation and said that his son, is being moved to a new facility. And Chris, girl, he wasn't trying to hear all that because Daddy was trying to catch that preaching spirit, baby, and Chris got his ass right on up off the air. But let's check this out, courtesy of News Nation, what Tory's pappy had to say, child.
Thank you very much, Chris. Thank you for having me. It's an honor to be here.
Well, listen, this is the job, is to make sure that there is fairness under law in this situation. And with your son,
Yes.
There's now a question mark. And you're not a lawyer. It's not why I'm talking to you. My understanding is it's gotten bad enough for him on the inside after this stabbing that it is a miracle that he survived, that now he's being moved as we speak. Is that true?
D-Rock, we wouldn't even be in prison to begin with, my love. Okay? See, that's the part. We wouldn't be in prison to begin with. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
And what does that mean to you?
Yes, that is correct. It's one of the things we've been concerned about, but he's being moved because it's a part of the prison's protocol. That when a situation like this happens, I think they believe it's better for him to be in another facility, and so he is being moved as we speak. One of the things, of course, we're concerned about is because my son is a high-profile person, and when things like this happen, there's always some kind of weird news going out trying to spin it to be something else. Maybe he went crazy in the prison and they moved him. There's a lot of stuff that happens, but the truth being that he is being moved right now as we speak, and we have concerns because, number one, he has just been discharged not many days ago from the hospital, and he was discharged with 14 stab wounds, an incident that collapsed his lungs that, again, thankfully, he is recovering, he's doing well, but now he has to take a 3-hour ride, and he is the victim in this situation. Those are the things that really concern me. He is the victim. He never provoked this incident in prison, and anybody that...
I don't understand what the idea... I don't understand what the dad's idea was when he decided on this particular hairstyle. I'm going to assume at the time he had, I don't know what had happened. It's like his hair is like in the middle of a download, girl. It's like it's in mid-downloading, girl. It's in a mid-download. Like when him and his tattoo artist had sat and thought this thing through, girl, like they didn't go through any type of preliminary evaluations. Like, let's see what this thing look like under sunlight, artificial lighting, studio lighting. What's going to happen if, you just get full on, alopecia, like, was there just not an entire conversation had to assess rather this was in fact a great idea? Because, some ideas seem solid. At first glance, girl, okay, when you haven't inspected Di's vision and thought completely through, baby. But, between Tory's wig and the stepmama's Wakanda-ass wig, and then the lack of wigging going on Tory daddy's head, baby, the whole family is a shit show, baby. The whole family is a traveling circus, child. It's a whole traveling circus, my God.
Knows him. In fact, I've met many people going there to visit him, my wife and I, that will tell you.
Like, there are literally man units now. There are like wig units. There are like futuristic toupees now. Like, you can really get you some realistic, good, high quality, high fiber shit on your head now. Like, they got the men's wig are competing at A1 level with the women's wigs these days. You might as well just go ahead and go full on futuristic toupee grab. Because why not?
That he is someone who is liked. He's not.
It's like nobody in the family know no better. Like you can like this is a literal example of like the apple not falling far from the tree, girl. Like it's like nobody in the lineage got no type of damn sense, girl. Like nobody do. Nobody got none.
One who's a troublemaker. I was with the COs, the correctional officers, in the hospital where he was taken after this incident, and the COs spoke to me. They said when they heard on the intercom that they had to transport somebody to the hospital, it was him. The guy looked at me and said, "Why him of all people?" Because he doesn't do anything like that, you know, to warrant these kinds of things.
Well, listen, Mr. Peterson, we're going to stay on it. Not out of any deference to your son. I'm new to this.
And not they gonna zoom in, girl. You know story, this is diabolical.
But there's something about it that doesn't smell right. And we're going to stay on it until we figure out what this is really about and that justice is served here. And I hope he is safe, no matter which way.
Wow. Like, you can just look at a man like this and know that he raised someone real bad, baby. Baby, it's giving Thanos, it's giving Avengers in the head, bitch. Who is Wanda's man? It's giving Vision, girl. Wow. Wow. Let's read the comments and gag, girl. Let's see how polite the people were and were not being in the comment section. Nobody caught it, child. Nobody was shook, child. You know, I guess we in the age, girl, where we see so much crazy shit now on TikTok and in our algorithms on Instagram, girl, that nobody is even shocked, girl. Okay, one person was here for a girl. It's time to go balls her. Wow. Free tour, girl. It's the bots. The bots are botting, girl. The bots are botting. You know, this whole thing is just so fascinating to me. It's just, this whole thing is just so fascinating to me. Wow. Wow. It's we're literally living in. Are y'all okay? Have y'all accepted that we're living in an episode of South Park, girl? That we're living in an episode of The Simpsons, girl? We have officially arrived. Now, speaking of officially arrived, girl, Unite the People have officially arrived at their goddamn point of complete and utter breakage. They can't do it no more. Y'all know that Unite the People was all that Nappy Radio had left. Y'all know that the judge had gave her basically a week to find her new counsel. Not only is the first lead counsel not helping her and making good on his promise to help her to find new counsel, but Unite the People have also, girl, left the group chat, and they have found it impossible to get her new counsel. Now, remember, I told y'all that it was going to be very hard for them to get her new counsel, especially in the middle of a case like this. They're about to go to trial in 3-4 months, and I will be there, boots to the ground, girl, gagging the hell out them hoes. And on top of that, they're headed toward a major L. And the cost of production for trial is going to be at least $150,000. For someone to step in, they will have to be okay with taking this inevitable L, which no attorney wants. No attorney goes into any goddamn case taking an L. That don't look good for their profile, baby. All you want to do is win, 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 no matter what, girl. 4.5 to 5 stars on the Yep reviews. So, of course, nobody is touching this case. Of course, with the first lawyer's declaration and memorandum basically stating that this hoe is broke, and on top of that, there are irreconcilable differences. She don't listen. She's unhinged. To the point that, girl, she really don't need no legal counsel because she's acting as her own counsel to begin with. So nobody is touching this shit. Well, Unite the People, girl, have gone into their reasons why they want to be immediately withdrawn from the goddamn case. All right. Opposed motion to withdraw as pro-hack VJ counsel by attorney Michael Hayden Esquire. Preliminary statement. Unite the People, Inc. was retained as pro bono counsel by defendant in the above referenced matter to draft and send cease and desist letters on behalf of defendant. Where did cease and desist letters go out to? Okay, girl, so because we just learned something real brand new. They did pro bono work for her to draft and send cease and desist letters. Who received the cease and desist to begin with? How the hell she the defendant in a cyber stalking defamation case, but she was sending out cease and desist? Who got a cease and desist? Can anybody riddle me this? Because this is new tea for me. Who in the hell was she sending cease and desist to? I'm confused. I don't understand. Shout out to my baby mother Kiki for the audacity piece of child support share. Thank you, baby mother, for an amazing show. Unfortunately, I have to go to bed. Okay, baby. Catch the rest of the replay in the morning, boo. Who in the hell? She out there sending cease and desist to. Secondly, Unite the People is unable to secure and retain local Florida counsel for this matter. So they are failing, girl, to retain and get her new counsel due to financial reasons from both Unite the People, Inc. and from defendant. Now, you know, Unite the People, baby, got a long history of allegedly having money issues and money entanglements, girl. We read those badass 1-star reviews for Unite the People, girl, who said that the girls over there are over there dividing the people from their goddamn dollars, girl, and running off with, you know, every bit of their 50 cents. 3, due to financial reasons which have arisen by the defendant and Unite the People, Inc. Unite the People, Inc. seeks to withdraw from representation of defendant as pro-hack VJ counsel in this matter. Now, remember, somebody had got up in Unite the People inbox, girl, and was telling them all the things that Scam Radio was over there saying about them and talking about them and the money this and the money that and the boop, 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 and the boom, 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 girl. And Unite the People wasn't really feeling all that. They wasn't feeling all that. And now, you know, she done made claims that they wasn't giving all the money that was supposed to be given to the first attorney that ended up putting in his pink slip last week, even though she was on station head talking out of the other side of her neck saying that she wasn't supposed to be responsible for paying nobody. So, like I told y'all, girl, it's looking like a bunch of scammers and opportunistic folk allegedly got into a cabal, and like all cabals by corrupted people, girl, you know, it can't stand in solidarity. Eventually, girl, the roof gonna be on fire and there's gonna be a submersible Titan implosion. It's just going to be inevitable. Okay? Unite the People, Inc. seeks to withdraw from representation of defendant as Pro Hack VJ counsel in this matter. Specific basis for withdrawal. Financial difficulties have arisen with Unite the People, Inc. and defendant, making it unreasonably difficult for Unite the People, Inc. to continue to effectively represent defendant as Pro Hack VJ counsel in this matter. Unable to secure local Florida counsel. Defendant is unable to compensate. But wait, she literally said that she wasn't supposed to be responsible for paying nothing, but yet had a whole GoFundMe. She said that folk wasn't even doing nothing for her, but then turned around and said that the first attorney who pulled out was doing a great job and deserved to have been compensated for his coin. I mean, for his working, his time, and his energy. There are so many mixed, flippant narratives, girl, that we can't land the plane on what this thing was supposed to look like. But considering that this is a legit organization and they're writing up a legit legal document to the judge, I guess we can take Unite the People at face value because they just established that, yes, they're supposed to get compensated and they were not compensated. So now the question is, where is the moolah? Miss Radio claims she got receipts, and now that her professional relationships to her attorneys have dissolved, there's no reason why she should not be able to produce receipts because there's no longer an attorney-client relationship to be had. So she should no longer be just talking about receipts. The folk want to know, where did the $32,000 go? Where did the $18,000 go? Where did the $11,000 go? Because the first attorney said he wasn't compensated. And now Unite the People are saying they have not been compensated. Unite the People, Inc. is a nonprofit in-court firm that specializes in criminal and post-conviction matters, having no dedicated civil litigation department. Unite the People currently has 2 licensed attorneys who specialize in criminal law who handle large caseloads. Without local Florida counsel to act as lead counsel, Unite the People cannot continue to represent defendant from California, or it would suffer extreme financial burden, likely ruin, and would prejudice current client representation, which is nonprofit, heavily discounted services. Girl, these people saying that this bitch about to fuck up their whole brand. Girl, these people just said that Nappy Radio is bad for the brand, girl. She about to single-handedly bring down the entire damn organization with all her brokenness, all her bullshit, all her incompetency, girl. And if they keep this up, it ain't gonna be no future of Unite the People. On May 19th of 2025, undersigned counsel notified counsel for plaintiff via email of his intention to withdraw as Pro Hack VJ counsel from this matter for reasons previously disclosed under seal. Counsel for plaintiff is opposed to the motion to withdraw by Unite the People. However, Unite the People will not be able to carry out events occurring in California deposition without being baby. So Megan's team is like, nah, bitch, bring that ass, because we not only want her, we want y'all hoe, because see, y'all called yourselves jumping into this fight to try to save Tory Lanez during his appeals to no avail. And then y'all tried to get y'all lit back, bitch, by joining this frail body asshole. When Megan turned around and sued her, so Megan Thee Stallion said, nah, baby, run me double the fade, bitch. She want both of them. She want Nappy Radio and she want Unite the People, because, see, baby, they knew this was going to be the tea from the beginning. This was Megan's plan, girl, was to use Nappy Radio to ruin Unite the People and unalive 2 birds with 1 stone. So Megan's team is like, hell no, bitch, judge, don't turn them loose. I want both of them. Bring all the ops, baby, because we, baby, Megan is using all 5 Infinity Stones. She wants to mop the entire flow. Bon appetit. These hoes. And rightfully so, because they've been playing on her head top for years. For years. If the motion for withdrawal of Unite the People, Inc. as defendants pro hat VJ counsel was granted, a proposed order will be submitted to the court under separate cover. So now United People is begging the courts, girl. They're begging the judge, no, don't listen to Megan team. This is going to ruin us. There's going to be nothing left of us. You got to let us go. This is unreasonable. This is extreme. We can't sustain this, sir. This is not worth it. We beg of thee. They are legally begging the judge to let them go. Pursuant to Rule 4 of the rules regulating the Florida bar, a lawyer may withdraw from representing a client if 1, withdrawal can be accomplished without material adverse effect of the interest of the client. 2, the client insists upon taking action that the lawyer considers repugnant, imprudent, or with which the lawyer has a fundamental disagreement. 3, the client fails substantially to fulfill an obligation to the lawyer regarding the lawyer services and has been given reasonable warning that the lawyer will withdraw unless the obligation is fulfilled, or the representation will result in an unreasonable financial burden on the lawyer, and they highlight it there, or has been rendered unreasonably difficult by the client, or 5 other good cause for withdrawal exists. Okay, now all these things have happened in their case. Given the financial burdens that have arisen between Unite the People and defendant, plus the inability to secure and pay local Florida council sufficient good cause exists to permit the withdrawal of Unite the People, Inc. as Pro Hac VJ counsel of record for defendant. Specifically, defendant and Unite the People, Inc. have no means to compensate local Florida council. This makes it unreasonable burden for the Unite the People, Inc. to continue to represent defendant. Based on the foregoing, undersigned counsel respectfully request that the court grant the instant motion in its entirety, entering an order for 1, granting the motion in its entirety, and authorizing Michael R. Hayden, Esquire of Unite the People, to withdraw as Pro Hat VJ counsel of record for defendant Milagro Elizabeth Whoopa, relieving said counsel and Unite the People, Inc. of any and all further obligations on behalf of defendant in this action. 2, providing defendant Milagro with a time period deemed sufficient by this court to retain successor local counsel in Florida or to appear pro se. My God, today, girl. And she might as well. You already been doing the most. You already been doing the most. You already basically been self-representing. You really did yourself a disservice by letting these people come in and then going against all their desires, all their instructions, because we know damn well that Unite the People did not tell this hoe to continue to run her mouth, continue to aggravate the plaintiff in this case, continue to give commentary, continue to do nothing, but she won't shut her motherfucking mouth because, you know, she needs this as a big grift, okay? Now let me, because they got her address and shit up in her, honey. They let the courts know, honey, we have delivered all said information. We have mailed this bitch a copy of, etc. Then they got a certificate of service. Okay, more preliminary stuff. Okay, then they got all of the mailing crap. And then the courts, of course, approved. You guys, they approved of said order. I am fucking screaming. I am screaming, but we're not shocked nor surprised. We prophesied it this last year, months ago. Everything that I've been saying has been coming to pass, child. The whole thing is so fucking predictable. Now she is absolutely lawyerless. She's absolutely lawyerless, girl. Lawyerless. Here is the granting of that order, child. This is a damn shame, girl. This is iconic Ellen. Iconic Ellen, girl. This cause came before the court upon the opposed motion to withdraw as pro hac DJ counsel by attorney Michael Hayden Esquire for defendant Milagro, ordered and adjudged that the motion is granted. Defendant's pro hac DJ counsel Michael R. Hayden Esquire is relieved of further responsibility in this case. Now, mind you, Nappy Radio have been talking about how they ain't been answering the phone for her. They ain't got no updates for her. Now the bitch is back at zero, and the judge has yet to accommodate her with a postponing of the trial. The date for the trial has not changed yet, girl. I don't know what the Scams needs to be doing, but just like she waited too late to act right in this case, the reality is, baby, it's honestly no goddamn point in her retaining a counsel. She might as well just throw her hands up on the roller coaster, bitch, and just let the ride take her, baby. Baby, just throw your hands up, girl. Buckle in and throw your hands up, because you've lost. And this thing was over before it ever even started. A attorney can't do nothing for Scams. This bitch is being sued in the state of Florida, where they have heavy criminal civil laws around deep fake AI, particularly deep fake SCX AI, which the judge already said earlier on in the case made the case legitimate, and that she definitely gonna have to see about Megan, about that deep fake AI. They intentionally and strategically sued her ass in Florida because they have the stricter laws around cyber stalking, cyber harassment, deep fake AI, etc. Everything that Alex Spiro has been doing on behalf of Megan has all been strategy, and they've been getting their way, girl, every which of way so far. There was a smidgy bit of an opportunity for Scams to turn her ass around, girl. But now this thing that got so far in, she's done so much damage. And the fact that she can't even work alongside her own legal representation says a lot about how unstable, self-sabotaging, how raggedy and reckless this heathen is. And now she's on her own, and a whole notable organization can't even find her any alternative representation. They have not been able to secure not even a public defendant for this heathen girl. That's how bad of a client Scams is, girl. That's how toe up and as much of an L as there is on her end, girl. That they can't even get baby, they can't even get a bitch who's interning to take on the case experimentally, girl. They can't even get an intern, girl, to take this thing on as a case study, girl, just for experience sake. Scams is that cooked. Cooked. She's cooked. She'd have been aired out. She'd have been blasted, and folk have every right to start seeking their refund and to start asking some deep questions and requiring some facts and some receipts, girl, because now her entire legal team, lead counsel, second lead counsel, third counsel, girl, have all said they have not been paid. The transactions have not been transacting. While she running around buying flat tummy tea and eating Hardee's, girl. Folk not getting paid. and she done grifted off of folk grocery money, light bill money, Memorial Day coin. This is a mess. This is a mess. Homebody says, guess the model appear via station head and represent her. That part. Demetria says, take her out the oven, baby. That broccoli been done. Been done. Because they basically find her unwetly and repugnant. Yeah. Her coins ain't long enough. Baby. Scams would be better off as a virtual character girl somewhere in a virtual land. Too prideful. A bill was passed about deep fake. Yeah, we got into all of that. I read all the laws out in Florida, baby, all the new legislation that arrived just in time. People have been wondering too, like, why they were waiting, girl, why it took this long for Megan to get up on her ass, girl, because Alex Sparrow was waiting on that new legislation. Everything has been strategy. Everything has been strategy from Megan's end, from Megan's legal team end. Everything has been about the right timing, the right place. I told y'all the way they alley-ooped her ass during the first version of this lawsuit, which was weak, but it was weak intentionally. They were banking on that hoe getting out here on social media, trying to litigate her case, baby, and then what happened? They knew she would run that big-ass dick sucker, so then they turned around and alley-ooped her ass by amending the original complaint and putting all the bullshit she said after she got sued, girl, in the new amendment. Just was getting triple, quadrupled, uppercutted, which is why United People and all them folk up over there were telling her to shut your mouth. Baby, shut your mouth. Shut your mouth. She couldn't close that mouth. She couldn't do it. Her syllabus ain't helping her. Oh, hey, attorney fees. I be trying to paint Meg's toenails, feed her some cotton candy grapes up. Child. It's too late to apologize. It's too late, baby. She's cooked. She's done. And y'all see how mad Megan is, bitch. She ain't even want the judge to let United People to go, baby. No, baby. Megan want all the smoke because that's what Megan is trying to do, man. She's trying to ruin all these hoes. If Megan is trying to ruin an entire organization and had the judge, baby, had Megan gotten her way, girl, because I told y'all that there was a chance that the judge was going to at least make some degree of her legal team remain with her, especially this far into the case and this close to trial. Some judges don't like all this rigmarole when shit get down to the nitty gritty. So sometimes they force legal counsel to remain a part of the case, no matter what the hell are the complicated. Baby, it could be irreconcilable differences. You could be practically working for free at this motherfucking point and not getting paid. The judge don't give a damn because they are ready for the shit to be over with. But in this case, girl, we also have to ask ourselves, has Gramz pissed the judge off officially? Because he's allowing her team to abandon her, even though they are abandoning her for legit reasons. The judge is nonetheless. He knows what predicament this puts her in. And the judge could have forced Unite the People to remain on board until further notice. But the judge didn't, girl. So it's the judge, girl, giving pretty much the win to Megan. Like, there she go, Meg. There she go. Get her, Glow. Get her. Get her. She as vulnerable gonna be at this point. Scams is gonna have to find her counsel. She don't know how to push paperwork. She don't know legal jargon. And if she think that Chat GPT gonna help her, it's not. I don't know if y'all had heard a few weeks ago about that man who had he had ChatGPT write up his defense, girl. I forgot in what type of case it was, child. ChatGPT had done told the goddamn thing up, bitch. They almost locked his ass up, girl. Just from the sheer audacity of it all and the sheer buffoonery of what ChatGPT attempted to do in terms of coming up with sound legal arguments, girl. ChatGPT was citing case law that didn't even damn exist, bitch. I mean, girl, it was a mess, girl. It's a mess. A mess. And the gag about it is, if the big dummy actually done turned around and emptied out 18K of the 32K she done grifted and raised. Oh. That mean, cause she also said that go send me shaves off a few thousands, girl. So she got to be sitting somewhere between 12K is remaining. 12K of that money remaining. She gonna spend a good 5K retaining new counsel, and then the rest of that is gonna go to the counsel playing catch up. And the terrible part about that is that there's no more opportunity for her to raise money, because now that she done fucked around and sabotaged and destroyed the legal team that her audience helped her to fund, this is going to be very discouraging for them if she has to try to raise more money. People are going to remember, girl, no, these folks saying you ain't paying these folks. These people are saying you are non-cooperative. These people are saying you are difficult. You are not following leadership. You're not even listening and bending to the need of your attorneys, bitch. So between people not getting paid and you being difficult, why the hell should anybody be running you money for new counsel? She done made an ass out of herself now. She done made it hard now for her to have a second run successfully at raising funds for attorneys. And once again, her case involves a criminal element, which is that deep fake AI. 2 to 5 years. Jail, prison time, bitch. Megan gonna get an opportunity to request what she wants. And if you don't think, based upon what we done read here, baby, that Megan is going for the highest penalties, for all we know, y'all, Megan might be working on a criminal case separately against this bitch too, because you do know that you can apply both criminal and civil charges against someone, right? You do know that you can put a civil and criminal case out on a bitch simultaneously, right? What if the plan, girl, is for Megan to keep this bitch tied up in the law, run her raggedy, run her dry, run her out her goddamn mind, and is working on a criminal suit as well? Because that deep fake AI is criminal. Felony. That is a crime. A felony crime in the state of Florida. That's a whole felon. The big leagues. Megan didn't even want the judge to let United People go. That means that she planned on turning Nappy Radio ass every which way but loose, baby. She won it all. And she has infinite financial resource to indulge Nappy Radio with. Unlike Nappy Radio, Megan don't got a budget. She ain't got a budget, baby. I think this thing is gonna be real dark for Nappy. It's giving Megan at this point, girl. It's giving Carrie vibes at prom, bitch. I just imagine Megan covered in all pig's blood right now, bitch. Like, it's clear that Megan wants Nappy's motherfucking head, and it's looking like she's going to absolutely get it. So that's a nice coverage, y'all. I said I didn't want to keep y'all long. Nappy Radio and Wendy Wiggins been dragging the hell out of each other, girl. We might get into that later today. Also, we got some movement in the TD Jakes versus Dwayne Youngblood versus every damn body else, bitch. So we definitely gonna be getting into that today. Shannon Sharp done stepped his ass down because of his own goddamn case. Girl, it's a lot going on. It's a lot going on. So we gonna be going along with it, child. If you guys enjoyed yourself, please make sure that you guys run those likes up on the video. If you're new here, subscribe. Once again, shout out to all of the newbies. Make sure you guys are sharing. Show some love to the Cash App and or PayPal on the screen. Send me order to the Consciouztv, PayPal, Instagram, the whole motherfucking nine. I love you guys a long time, and I will see you guys later on today. We got a lot to get into, honey, so keep your notifications set. And remember, you can't rely on YouTube's notifications. So when you're not getting notified, check the platform manually as well. You got to check the platform manually. All right? I will see you guys later. Peace.